Good morning. It's 11:05 a.m. Do you know where your home equity is? Welcome to the Velocity of Money. Here now to answer your questions about real estate, capital, equity, funding, and finance, your host of the Velocity of Money, Michael J. Barnes.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. The only analogy that I can come up with about it is I could probably figure out how to change the oil in my car.
Right.
But it's not my expertise. I'm certainly not going to take the time away from what I have expertise in order to try to figure out how to do that.
Right.
I'm going to have a professional do that. And it's the same idea when someone's considering a loan modification program. Yeah, you could probably call up that lending institution, go through the loss mitigation department versus going to the legal department and try to work through that scenario. But you don't know what you don't know. And if you take that approach and make that attempt, it could cost you money, it could cost you a higher interest rate, it could cost you something that you're not even aware of. That's where your team and the loan modification professionals in this attorney network that you exclusively work with come into play.
You talk about not being able to change your own oil or not choosing to change your own oil. Of course, you could figure it out. You wouldn't operate on yourself. If you got yourself into some legal trouble and you were an attorney, you wouldn't represent yourself. It's just not something that, even though you may know what to do and how to do it, you're just not going to do it because you need an unbiased third party that's truly going to fight for your true rights.
And that has expertise in this particular area, specifically focused on working toward the mortgage owner, the consumer's best possible outcome.
Right. No, that's absolutely a good point. We have example after example of people that have tried to do the loan modification on their own, and most of the time what we see is a situation that is best for the bank. Temporary fix. Well, people don't need a temporary fix.
Temporary being the key word there.
Yeah.
We'll make it better for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, whatever it is, but we're going to tack it off. One of our strategic partners was just sharing a story at the break about someone he knows personally that did this. They took this approach. They did it themselves without the benefit of the attorney, and the end result was a temporary, short-term, better fix today, all of which interest, back costs, etc., are tacked onto the other side of this mortgage. That's not what you're after with a loan modification.
And when you think about it, really? A temporary fix? Really? I'm sorry, isn't that what put most of the people into this situation to begin with, was
Absolutely.
A temporary fix? Remember the billboards that said if your mortgage payment's only $500 a month, you're paying too much, call now, 1% interest rate? Give me a break. Look, people fell for it. Everybody fell for it. It was a disaster. Well, that's what we're looking to go back into. You don't need a temporary fix. You need a real fix.
You need a real fix that's going to meet your need as the consumer. It's going to meet the need of your family to stay within a home. It's going to meet the need of your cash flow monthly to get a reduced payment, whatever it is for you and your family. That's the whole idea behind modifying your existing loan.
And another important point here, we hammer down on so many of these different issues. A loan modification is not for somebody that doesn't care. This is if you really care. It appears that you will be being faced with foreclosure. If you're late on your mortgage, if it's getting ready to go up, any number of genuine, true hardships, financial hardships that happen to you, your main goal has to be that you want to stay in that house. Keep your family and your pets in that house. You need to call. We're here to help. We're not salesmen. We're saviors. Look, if you decide that the modificationhotline.com isn't what you and your family need, that's okay. If you are able to find another solution, you know what, we're happy for you. The more people, in my opinion, the more affiliates of my firm that there are out there to help get us through this process, the better off we're all going to be. The sooner we get through this loan modification, get through these toxic mortgages, the sooner all things economic will recover. The housing market is the base of this economic crisis, and everybody knows that.
Without question, and a number of experts that weigh in, that have credibility, and people that I receive advice from in terms of helping my own clients, they talk about the stock market in terms of when does that improve, when do stocks get a foothold and go forward, and the economy start to rise, and the recession come to an end, and all those things. Every single one of them, without fail, go back to this housing market and this crisis. Foreclosure is an avoidable option. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to take on some other job or some other source of income or whatever it is to try to maintain an existing mortgage. That's not the point. modify an existing mortgage. That may be a much better alternative for the average person that finds themselves under this pressure.
Well, and that's one of the things, most of the people that I talk to have sought other income options because they can't do it. If you have to take a second mortgage just to make your mortgage payment, there's a problem there. Now, maybe the problem was spending habits. Maybe the problem was, who knows? But
Or it goes back to the credit market entirely. You know, you take out a loan against a credit card in order to pay a mortgage payment type of mentality.
Right. Yeah.
That is the danger right there. If you're finding yourself under these pressures, you've got to call 1-888-MOD-INFO to find out more about this and see if this is something that can benefit you.
that's right. You know, and we're going to be back in just a few moments. You're listening to The Velocity of Money with Michael J. Barnes and Brett Fallon, and we'll be back in just a moment.